Welcome to a journey through time, to an island of vibrant green mountains and crystal clear waters. Long before it was known as Jamaica, the indigenous Taino people called it Jamaica, the land of wood and water. This is the story of that land, a story of resilience, struggle, and triumph. Let's explore the rich and complex history of Jamaica. Before any European ships dotted the horizon, Jamaica was home to the Taino people. They were a peaceful society, living in well-organized villages led by chiefs called caciques. Imagine bustling communities with large circular houses, their days filled with fishing in handcrafted canoes, farming cassava and sweet potatoes, and weaving intricate cotton hammocks. The Tainos had a deep spiritual connection to the land and sea. Their lives were guided by the rhythms of nature, and their culture thrived through storytelling, music played on wooden instruments, and ceremonial ball games called bachu. They left their stories etched in stone as petroglyphs, silent witnesses to a vibrant civilization that flourished in harmony with this island paradise. Their legacy is the very foundation of Jamaica's story. This tranquil existence was shattered in 1494. 3 Spanish ships, led by an Italian explorer named Christopher Columbus, landed on the island's northern coast. The Spanish, driven by a thirst for gold and glory, saw not a thriving culture but a land to be conquered. They established the first European settlement, Sevilla La Nueva, near modern-day St. Anne's Bay. For the Taino people, this arrival was catastrophic. The Spanish imposed a brutal system of forced labor, forcing them to pan for gold that barely existed. European diseases, against which the Tainos had no immunity, swept through their communities with devastating speed. Within a few decades, their population was decimated, a tragic chapter that saw the near-complete collapse of their society. The Spanish held the island for over a century and a half, but their focus shifted elsewhere as richer lands were discovered, leaving Jamaica as a relatively neglected outpost of their vast empire. In May 1655, a new power arrived. An English fleet, having failed to capture the Spanish stronghold of Santo Domingo, turned its sights on the weakly defended Jamaica. The Spanish governor quickly surrendered, and the island changed hands, beginning over 300 years of British rule. Under the English, the island's destiny was reshaped. They cleared vast tracts of land, not for gold, but for a different kind of treasure, sugar. White gold, as it was called, was in high demand in Europe, and Jamaica's fertile soil and tropical climate were perfect for its cultivation. The British established massive sugar plantations, transforming the island's landscape and economy. This sugar boom would bring immense wealth to a small planter class, but it was built on a foundation of unimaginable human suffering, setting the stage for the darkest period in Jamaica's history. To fuel the insatiable demand for sugar, the British created one of the most brutal systems of chattel slavery the world has ever known. Hundreds of thousands of Africans were forcibly captured, torn from their homes in West and Central Africa, and shipped across the Atlantic in the horrific Middle Passage. On the sugar plantations, life was a relentless cycle of hard labor from sunrise to sunset, under the constant threat of the whip. Families were torn apart, and human beings were treated as property. Yet, even in the face of such inhumanity, the spirit of resistance never died. Enslaved people fought back in countless ways, from subtle acts of sabotage to full-scale rebellions like the one led by Taki in 1760. The most legendary resistance came from the Maroons. These were formerly enslaved Africans who escaped the plantations and formed their own independent communities deep within the island's rugged, mountainous interior. Led by formidable figures like Queen Nanny, a national hero of Jamaica, the Maroons fought a guerrilla war against the British for decades, securing treaties that granted them a degree of autonomy and inspiring hope for freedom across the island. Their courage is a testament to the unyielding desire for liberty. The 19th century brought gradual but significant change. The tireless efforts of abolitionists in Britain and the constant resistance of the enslaved in Jamaica finally led to the abolition of the slave trade in 1807 and full emancipation in 1838. But freedom did not mean equality. The post-emancipation period was marked by economic hardship and social injustice for the majority black population. The Morant Bay Rebellion of 1865, led by Paul Bogle, was a pivotal moment. A desperate cry for justice that was brutally suppressed but highlighted the deep-seated inequalities that still plagued the island. This event led to Jamaica becoming a crown colony, with direct rule from London, but the seeds of a new kind of resistance had been sown, a political and intellectual awakening. Visionaries like Marcus Garvey emerged, championing black pride and self-reliance, his ideas resonating far beyond Jamaica's shores. The 20th century dawned with a growing desire for self-determination. The Great Depression of the 1930s hit Jamaica hard, leading to widespread unemployment and poverty. This simmering discontent finally boiled over in 1938 with a series of labor riots and strikes that swept across the island. This was the turning point. Out of this labor unrest, Jamaica's first modern political parties and trade unions were born, led by 2 charismatic, influential, and rival cousins, Norman Manley and Alexander Booth. They became the architects of modern Jamaica. They channeled the people's demands for better wages and working conditions into a powerful movement for political change. The fight for self-government gained momentum, A new constitution in 1944 granted universal adult suffrage, giving every Jamaican a voice in their own governance for the first time. The journey was long, filled with political negotiations and debates, but the destination was clear. The people of Jamaica were determined to chart their own course. Finally, at the stroke of midnight on August 6, 1962, the British Union Jack was lowered for the last time, and the new black, green, and gold flag of Jamaica was raised. A new nation was born. The air was filled with celebration as Jamaica stepped onto the world stage as a sovereign state, a moment of immense pride and hope for the future. The island had navigated centuries of colonization, slavery, and struggle to claim its independence. The road ahead would have its own challenges, but for the first time, Jamaicans were the masters of their own destiny. The first Prime Minister, Alexander Bustamante, and the leader of the opposition, Norman Manley, stood together, symbolizing a united front for the new nation. Today, Jamaica's influence is felt far beyond its shores. It is the birthplace of reggae music, a global force for peace and unity, championed by the legendary Bob Marley. It's the home of the world's fastest sprinters, who have dominated track and field for decades. From its flavorful cuisine to its distinctive patois language, Jamaican culture is recognized and celebrated worldwide. The island's story is one of incredible resilience. It is a story embodied in the national motto, "Out of many, one people." This simple phrase captures the essence of Jamaica nation forged from the diverse heritage of the Taino, Spanish, British, African, Indian, and Chinese peoples who have all called this island home. From Jamaica to modern Jamaica, it remains a land of wood, water, and an unbreakable human spirit. Thank you so much for joining me on this historical journey. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the histories that have shaped our world. See you next time.